Well, hello, everyone. Welcome to Virtual Coffee Break with Tanisha. I am your host, Tanisha Burke, and I am so happy. Happy February. Yes, it is the 1st of February. And I thought that we would start this month off with reviewing the book, Your First Year in Network Marketing. Your First Year in Network Marketing by Mark and Rene Yarnell. So, Shamika, what are your thoughts on us going over this book for the first month of February here?
Yeah, so I actually read this book twice, and actually I would read it three times again because it's timeless. I think it's responsible with the new people coming in, may not have been a part of network marketing and don't know what to expect. So I think this is the perfect time, the perfect book to start off with. I love it.
Absolutely, absolutely. And so, for those of you who have never read the book, Your First Year in Network Marketing, we actually recommend it as one of the first books that you read. So, if you have not gotten the book, I highly recommend you get the book and get it completed this month while we're going over it. This book will let you know everything that is going to happen during your first 12 months in the business. And why is that important? It's important because failure to plan is a plan to fail. Okay. There are some expectations that people have when they start their brand new network marketing business. And honestly, they're unrealistic expectations. You have to understand when you start a brand new business, any business, but especially in network marketing, there is a proven success system that you have to learn. You're learning the product, you're learning how to market, you're learning how to listen, you're learning how to prospect. You're putting systems in place so you can stay organized. There is so much that you have to learn when you start a brand new network marketing business that it is a very unreal expectation to think that you're going to come in and within 3 months you're going to take off like a rocket. It's just not going to happen. Realistically, during your first 12 months, you are in the learning phase for your first 12 months. There is always something new to learn. You're learning how to read, right? Some people never read books until they get started in network marketing and they're encouraged to read books for their personal development. Some people never like to leave their house. Well, guess what? In network marketing, we go to events. So they're learning how to, adjust their schedule and their time. Speaking of time, some people never use a calendar. Well, guess what we encourage you to do? You need to use a calendar, right? So there's just so many things that come with starting a brand new network marketing business. So that's what we're going to discuss. And so before I get started, let me shout out the champions that have joined us today. Hello, Miss Erica, checking in from California. We got Mr. Cliff Moore. Hello, Cliff. How are you? Someone on Facebook says, hello, hello, hello. Good to see you. Good to see you. We got Ms. LLC checking in. Hello, Ms. LLC. Thank you for joining us. We got Boss Lady checking in. Hello. We got Antoinette Cage. Hello, Miss Nettie. How are you? Thank you for joining. And we got Lynette checking in from Pennsylvania, joining us from Facebook. And we have Christina checking in. Hey, Christina, thank you. Thank you for joining us. And yes, we are streaming live from my personal Facebook page as well as my team group on Facebook. We are also on my business page on Facebook. We're streaming in LinkedIn. Hello, those of you checking us out from LinkedIn. Hello, those of you checking us out from YouTube Live. And we are streaming also on X. Yes, we are streaming on X today. Hello, hello. We got Miss Jean joining us. Okay, hey, Miss Jean. Thank you so much for joining us. All right, let's jump into it because we have a lot to go over today. So we are today going to be discussing chapter 1 of the book, Your First Year in Network Marketing by Mark and Rene Yarnell. And chapter 1 is called Ignoring the Rejection Rocket. I think that is definitely a great way to explain it, the rejection rocket, right? So let's jump right in. I hope everybody has their notepad. Welcome, Miss K. I hope everybody has their notepad and pen so they can take copious notes. As we know, note takers are money makers. Note takers are money makers. All right. Yep, Miss K is ready. All right, so let's jump into this. Number 1, we're talking about, I'm going to give you 10 takeaways from chapter 1, Ignoring the Rejection Rocket. So, number 1, understanding the impact of rejection. Understanding the impact of rejection. Rejection in network marketing can come from friends, family, and even spouses. And it can be devastating to a new business partner's enthusiasm and confidence. How many of us have experienced rejection from family, friends, and spouses, right? Absolutely. So, rejection from close relationships. This is what you need to know and keep in mind when you're enrolling a brand new business partner. Rejection from close relationships can have a significant emotional impact and should be anticipated and managed proactively. And I want you to highlight, underline the word anticipated. It should be anticipated. So, what does that mean? That means when we are enrolling our brand new business partner, number one of the first things you want to tell them is to get this book and start reading it and have it completed within the first 30 days. Why? Because they're going to learn right in chapter 1 that yes, you're going to get some rejection from your family and friends, right? So you all know I am in the travel industry, right? And so, of course, when new business partners partner with me, they are so excited about their brand new travel business, right? And in their mind, they're like, oh, I'm gonna have 9 people on my team in no time, right? Because my sister travels a lot, my brother travels, my cousin, my uncle or whatever, right? And so they're thinking of all these family members that they know who love to travel, and they just assume that they're going to want to come on board and partner with them in this business. So, literally from day 1, when I'm onboarding my brand new business partner, I tell them, friends and family won't support you until strangers start to celebrate you. I tell them that from day 1 when I'm explaining to them why they need to get this book. And so they know from day 1, oh, okay. And think about it. Your friends and family don't know you as a successful travel business owner, right? Or a successful health and wellness distributor or a successful, jewelry salesperson. Whatever it is that you're selling in network marketing, you are not known for being an expert in that industry when you first get started, right? So your friends and family, they respect you for what you do from your 9 to 5. You the expert in that, right? So I don't care if you're a paralegal, guess what? They respect that, right? You might be a tax professional full time. They respect that. You might be a, customer service rep, right? They respect you for that. But when you start a brand new business, they don't respect you in that industry. You haven't become the evidence of success. So it's super, super important that we manage our brand new business partners' expectation and let them know that, listen, your friends and family, they're not going to jump on board real quick. We're still going to share the business with them because we need to take them off the market, right? Because we don't want someone else telling them about the business and they join them. So you're still going to let them know what you do, but don't have high expectations that they're going to join. And guess what this also does? This also teaches them to become unemotional, right? So we're sliding in a little bit of that emotional intelligence conversation with them as well. Who wants to speak on this before we move on to number 2? Director Burke?
Um, I mean, you make a great point because I remember when I was first told when I first got into the business to have a Zoom, and I thought I could have like at least 20 people signed up, and I invited 100 people. And I remember me and Director Rayleigh were on the Zoom together. Nobody signed up. Nobody even showed up. And I was so mad about that. And you let me speak on it for a few minutes. And then you told me friends and family won't support you until strangers celebrate you. And then you told me that my family and friends, they love me, but they don't understand what I'm going through. So, and there was this thing where when you said that they love me, and I asked you, well, if they love me so much, how come they didn't want to get involved in this? And you told me they love you for the fact that you're working 9 to 5 at Walgreens, and they're not going to join you because they don't trust this whole path that you're with, you know. So they're always going to turn you down. But the people that you have on social media, they don't see the whole Walgreens thing. They just see what you present to them. So if you're going to be a super successful travel business owner, that's what they see, and they're going to be more open to what you're bringing in. And I was like, yeah, and then I got it. So yeah, thank you.
Absolutely, absolutely. Shamika?
I definitely was that one when I first got started. I said everybody, my mama. I thought the whole family was gonna join. Okay, because I'm like, I know y'all like to make money. I know y'all like to travel, but that just wasn't the case. And even like you said, they didn't know me from for this, professional, entrepreneur, business, person who I am now. And so I'm growing into that. And now I just like it's okay. It's kind of like what Erica said. If I could take the rejection from my family, people on Facebook really, really don't matter to me. So
Right.
that was something that I had to get over because I had to understand that they wasn't saying no to me. They was just saying no to the opportunity because I did eventually have at least one family member that came on board. So yeah, it's definitely gotta, and then you definitely gotta tell your business partners that too, because a lot of people can't take rejection. Like they take it to heart, and so you definitely have to, like you said, highlight that, anticipate. Let them know that everybody's not gonna join how you think you is, and so that better prepares them for the no's that they're gonna get.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And as we always say, the no's build you, the yeses build your business, right? Miss Kay, you want to jump in on this? What are your thoughts on number one, understanding the impact of rejection and making sure your new business partner is aware of it? Right.
When she found out that I was in it, she said, "Oh, I'm ready." She said, "I wasn't ready then, but you got to take them off the table. You got to let them know if you ever hear about this, and you will hear about this, because we're 98,000 headed to 100,000. When you hear about this, just remember me, your sister, daughter, brother, mother, aunt, your family member showed it to you first. So that's what it means when they say take it off the table. I don't think people understood what you meant when you say take them off the market. Take them off the market.
Absolutely, absolutely. Director Burke, are you raising your hand? Yes.
Yeah, one more thing that I wanted to piggyback off of that you told me, that my family and friends that turned me, that didn't show up, they actually did that to see me fail. And when I asked you why would they want to see me fail, when you said that they love me, you said so it'll justify their reasoning for not joining me. So you have to give them a show, and you got to take this and make your life the best life, so they always see that. And I thought that that was the most powerful thing I had ever heard up until that point.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. And Martina, to your point, it definitely helps you build a thicker skin. Network marketing will help you build a thicker skin quick, right? So you can't be a wimp in this business. This business will eat you up alive. So we got to kind of prepare again, this is all about preparing our new business partners. So let's get into number 2. This is a big one. Rejection by spouse. Rejection by spouse. You see Mr. Burke smiling there, right? Because he rejected me in this business at first. Well, yeah, we'll talk about that in a moment. But rejection by spouse. Rejection from a spouse can be particularly challenging and result in doubts and discouragement. It's essential to prepare for this and find effective ways to address concerns before they arise. Prepare new business partners to address their spouse's concerns and ensure they understand how to effectively communicate the benefits of the opportunity. Oh man, there's so much I want to share about this one, rejection by spouse. Number 1, man, there's so many things I want to say about this one, but let's just start with this. Introduce your spouse to the business by bringing them to a meeting. Don't you try to convince them. Don't you try to convince them and explain the business to them, because you got to understand, with your spouse, you have a track record with them. And it might not be good, right? If this is not your first rodeo in network marketing, I'm telling you, when you start talking to your spouse about this new business venture, your current one, all they're hearing is wah, 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 right? Because all they're thinking about is how much money you've wasted with all your other businesses. And, here you go again. So they're not really trying to hear anything you say. So the best thing to do is to, number 1, don't even try to get your spouse in it. Say, this is what I'm doing, and I want you to come to, this meeting with me so that you can understand what it is I'm doing. And if you have any questions about it, you can get your questions answered, and you can meet the people that I'm going to be working with. That's the best thing that you can do. Okay. Do not try to drag your spouse into the business. You got to have posture, number 1, and say, this is what I'm doing. Basically, you're saying, this is what I'm doing, whether you agree with it or not. And I understand everybody's household is set up different. And there are just some people who won't do anything unless their spouse is 100% on board with it. And if that's how your household is set up, if you like it, I love it. In my household, my husband is an individual. I am an individual, and together we are one. But guess what? There's some things he likes that I don't like. right? There's some foods he don't eat that I love. Do you think I just don't buy those foods and only buy what he likes? No. Guess what? There's going to be some meals that the only thing that I cook, the stuff that I like, and the Burke boys got to fend for themselves, right? I'm not going to change who I am. I always, he knows I always make sure there's food in the house that they like to. But you understand what I'm saying? I like peppers and onions and everything. They don't. Do you think I stop? I have peppers and onions in my freezer right now, right? I don't stop buying it because they don't like it, right? I just make sure there's something there for them that they can eat, but I'm not going to stop eating the stuff I love because they don't like some ingredients that I like to use. That's the point I'm trying to make. And so there are going to be some things that you may want to do and you're excited about, and your spouse is not happy about it. And there's just some households, they're just the spouse is like, I guess I can't do it because my spouse isn't on board. What? If that's your household, knock yourself out. That's not my household, right? Tanisha gonna do what she want to do. I'm gonna let you know. We're gonna talk about it. I definitely want to hear, what you have to say about it. But and let's talk, Director Burke, about when I started this business and you were not on board. And I think it's important for our listeners to hear from you, because usually in network marketing, it is the woman, not all the time, the majority of the time, it is the wife who gets on board first, and they're trying to drag their husband. So talk about that.
So I remember when you first sat me and Jace down at the table and you were talking all this stuff about how you're going to get our family and everything to the next level and all that. And keep in mind that we had been struggling up until that point. We barely was able to make ends meet. And you actually talked to us about this business for about 45 minutes. And this was back at a time when there wasn't no videos, no Zooms, nothing like that. And I remember me and Jace, we're kind of like taking all your loud claims about what you were going to do. And we're kind of like looking at each other like this one, like snickering a little bit. Like, this is another one of mommy's crazy things and stuff. And I remember saying to you, I know you want me to be in this, but it's like I can't do it. I don't want to do it because, we finally got our heads above water. I have my job, you have your job, we're caught up on the bills, everything's kicking. Why do you want to get us involved in something crazy like this? And that's what I said. It was crazy. Well, we finally got our heads above water. And that's when you told me, and I'll never forget it. He's like, I'm tired of living with our heads above water. I'm trying to get our butts out of the water. And that was huge. That was huge. So I was like, okay, yeah, whatever you want to do. I'm still not going to get involved, whatever. And I left it at that. I thought it was a joke. But then I remember that you took me to the first meeting in Orlando. You wanted me to go, and I didn't want to go because I just wanted to stay home and, just do my thing. And I remember driving you to Orlando, and I was so mad that I had to go to this meeting. And I was like, what's this damn company about again? So it's like I forgot every single thing that you told me at the table. I wasn't even paying attention. And you were telling me about how this company here is like Donald Bradley, how he was a black man that became like a multimillionaire, and and the company is like majority black. And I was thinking, man, are you kidding? Black people, we can't do nothing right. Are you serious? And I was like, remember when we were pulling in, I was like, I'm telling you, T, if I see baby mamas with their kids running around or thugs looking at me hard, we out of there. I'm telling you, I'm not gonna even mess with it.
He did say that. He did.
Yeah, we got in there, and the first person I saw was Dr. Reggie, and I remember these people are dressed in business attire, treating everybody professional, shook my hand. Because remember, all I wanted to do, I wanted to stay in the back and just play with my phone. I wasn't even going to mess with y'all, but they led me to the front. And when Rene Green and Cedric, when they did the presentation, they kind of like included me in the presentation. When I saw it, I couldn't unsee it. And I was like, this is something huge that my wife got into. And I remember when we were leaving, Director Bynes came to me and he shook my hand and he said, thank you for letting your wife become a part of this. I was like, She's her own person. She can do whatever she wants. And then he looked at me and said, I want to thank you for letting your wife become a part of this. And that resonated with me so much that I was like, on the drive home, I was so excited, just like you were. And I finally saw what this thing here was about. But yeah, it took me a while. I didn't even, and keep in mind there, Tanisha, I didn't even get involved even after that. I still had to wait and see you produce. And
Right.
then when I saw you produce and you became the evidence of this thing, then I decided to get involved with it. Back to you.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I want to touch base on or add to what you're saying about Director Bynes saying, thank you for letting your wife participate. What he was really saying and why he repeated himself is your spouse can be in the business without being in the business, right? They can support you from afar, right? You just need their blessing that, okay, you just need to know that, when you're on a webinar, they ain't gonna walk by and roll their eyes at you, right? Or when you say you need to go to a meeting, you don't have to hear a bunch of this about, oh, you always, going to a meeting. Or, I remember I was always on the phone a lot with my sponsor in the beginning. And oh my gosh, my husband was like, why are you always on the phone with Greg? Like, I don't know if he thought something was going on. And I'm like, this is my sponsor in the business. We're doing 3-way calls, right? So I needed my husband to understand the business and what the business was and what the business was not. And the best way to do that is not by me talking about it. Why? Because I had just came out of another network marketing company where I was taking time away from my family. Yes, I made some money. Yes, I was able to pay off some student loans and stuff, but my husband didn't see me get the recognition in the company that he felt I deserved based on the time that I sacrificed with my family, right? So he was not jumping up and down with Planet Marketing even after I took him to the meeting. And as you heard him just say, it wasn't until I started bringing those checks home that everybody, like he always says, you start bringing the money home, the rest of the family gonna fall in line. Those little snickers and the snide comments that they be making, the rolling the eyes, all that crap goes away when you start bringing in the checks. Let me let you know that is the facts. And too many of you, the reason why your spouse is not on board is because you playing around with your business. You playing around. You just out. You want to go to all the events because they're fun. You get to meet with everybody, but you're not bringing home the money. And so, yeah, they're not going to be on board. Mr. Burke?
Yeah, can I speak on that there real quick?
Absolutely.
Yeah, so basically, ladies, you got to understand this. Like, if you get into something like this from a guy's perspective, um, as you are our women, you are our prized possession, and we want to spend as much time with you as possible, as humanly possible. But when you're like, you need to spend time away from us to do something like this, you have to produce. You have to have something in return. Like, for instance, I had this one woman come up to me at an event, and Tanisha was here. She could tell you. And she was like, I see you and Director Burke, you two are amazing power couple and everything. And, every time I try to talk to my husband about this, he always gets mad. And it's like I can't even be around him with this business and everything. And it's like I was wondering if you could talk to him, sometime. Like if I could get him on a Zoom or a phone call with you, you could talk to him and make him see the light. And so I asked this woman one question. I was like, okay, so how long have you been in this business? And she was like, I've been in this business 3 years. I was like, okay, what level are you at right now? And she said that she was at bronze. I was like, what can I say to your husband? There's nothing I can say to him because he's exactly right. You're not bringing in the money. Of course he's gonna be mad. It's like you've been in this business 3 years and you're only bronze. Yeah, there's nothing I can say to your man that's going to make him want to be in this business. As a matter of fact, you get me on a Zoom or a phone, it's going to make it even worse. You have to produce. It's like you think that everything would be good with me and Mrs. Burke here if she wasn't producing in this business. No, no way. She understood that she knew that she had to produce regardless of whatever. If you're going to take time away from me and our marriage and our son who needs you, you need to produce. If you ain't gonna do it, of course it's gonna be like all kinds of stuff gonna be popping off. I was like, so that's on you. All this here, you want to get your husband on board? Hey, then start producing. Seriously. All right, back to you, Mr. Spring.
I love it. I love it. Great story, right? It's the facts, right? If you gonna go hunting, and that's what network marketing is, right? Because here, if you don't hunt, you don't eat, right? If you gonna go hunting, you better bring home the deer. Period. End the story. That's how you get your spouse involved. And we get that question as a couple all the time. How do I get my spouse or my significant other? How do I get them on board? Bring home the check. Bring home the check. And let me say this, side note, ladies, and I'm speaking to the ladies right now. Notice I said your husband, your spouse, your boyfriend, your live-in lover. They ain't got nothing to say about nothing. You don't owe them nothing. They can't even commit to getting you the ring and making you their wife. So stop looking for their validation. Real talk. I see that too. And I'm like, you letting your boyfriend discourage you from doing the business? What? He can't even make a commitment to you. So how are you going to have a conversation with him about your financial future? So I just want to put that out there, because when I see that be, I always got something to say about that whole, I'm just saying. Anybody agree with me on that? I'm just saying.
I can speak to you on that because I'm not married. I don't care who said what. I started my business. I didn't ask nobody. I just went and started my business. But to kind of bring about what you were just saying, what if you would have believed? What if you would have let your husband discourage you from being actually working your business? Like, that would have been crucial, right? Seeing where guys are from now, right? So sometimes, I mean, it's a lot of stories of married couples like, man, I just went and started it, and they just caught the dream. I already had the vision, I saw it, and they just came on. But this was just something that I had to do, and it just kind of made me think about the story that's in the book, how he came home and he was just so excited, like, Sally, I found it. We finally gonna get out of here. And she was like, are you crazy? Are you crazy? And I think to be an entrepreneur, you absolutely got to be a little bit crazy. So
yeah,
but
absolutely.
Out those prospects as well, to be like, well, I gotta talk to my husband first, and see what he thinks about it. And then of course it's an objection, it's an excuse, right? But most times you can tell if they went home and talked to them about it and tried to explain everything, because then you don't hear nothing from them anymore.
Exactly. Director Burke said, ask your significant other, you trying to build an empire or not? Right. And Director Burke will tell you, I said, listen, if you ain't gonna help me make this money, you can't help me spend this money. And that was that. Right. That was that. And let me say this when it comes to spouses, because they don't really talk about going to this too much in the book. But this is just me talking to y'all. Your network marketing business will reveal all the cracks that are in the foundation of your relationships. Write that one down, because I need to manage your expectation of what's going to happen as far as the dynamics of your family. So it's not just your relationship with your mom and your dad and your sisters and your brothers, your spouse. It's all relationships. Network marketing will reveal the cracks in the foundations of your relationships. It really will. So when you get started in the business, and let's say you have, you're married, or you have a significant other or whatever. Well, guess what? In network marketing, the personal development is real. The person you are on day one is not the same person you are on day 100 if you are plugged in to the winning culture, right? And so what ends up happening is you tend to outgrow your spouse or significant other. If they're not reading the books with you, if they're not going to the meetings with you, if they're not working on their personal development or their goals, you're going to outgrow them and they're going to become less and less attractive to you. And vice versa. You're not as attractive to them because they liked it when y'all were both here, broke together, having broke conversations and dreams about what you wish you could do, right? But then now you're in the business, you're going here and you're like, oh no, I'm going to have that. I'm going to have the house. I'm going to have the car. I'm going to be able to have the big bank account. I'm going to be able to travel more. And they're still down here with this mindset. This now is unequally yoked. Y'all believers know what I'm talking about. This now is y'all being unequally yoked. And the problems were there way before you got started in network marketing. I promise you they were there. It's just that your network marketing business exposed it. If you would have stayed down here with them, y'all would have been good. But you're getting better. And then this person here feels a little resentful. And if they are insecure, oh boy, you're going to really see some nastiness come out. Because now they're going to project their insecurities on you. It's like, oh, you go into that meeting because you trying to talk to somebody. Who you talking to out there? You said you're going to be back by 9. It's 9:30. Where were you? Just saying. Just saying. These are the things that happen. These are the things that happen. So I want you to be aware of that. So like I said, if they're not your spouse, y'all ain't got the paper, the ring, ladies, get them to the curb and get you an entrepreneur. Replace them with an entrepreneur who understands building an empire. Seriously. Stop. You can't be a 6-figure income earner dating someone with a 2-figure income earner mindset. The two just don't go together. Director Burke?
One of the things I definitely want to thank you about our journey is that, you had that mentality that you wanted something that you were going to get in. I was kind of grounded in what I thought was my reality. But I want to thank you for whenever we would go to see houses being built, for taking me along, so I could see the reality of that. And I wanted to thank you for, whenever you go into a parking lot, like to a dealership, and taking me along, because you gave me a chance to get up to your level. It's not one of those things where you saw, well, he doesn't have the same aspirations as me, he's gone. You gave me a chance to see exactly what you were seeing and help me get up to that level. And I thought that was huge. That was huge. And that really helped me grow a lot. So
thank you. And you're welcome. Yeah. So exposing them. And this is why, in our business, we have events. They're at 5-star hotels. They're on yachts, right? They're at 5-star resorts. Why? Because it's exposing us to what's possible. And you may need to do that with your spouse in order to get them to come on board. All right, let's jump into number 3. Rejection by family and friends. Rejection by family and friends. Rejection from family and friends, while unexpected, can also be a common experience. It's important to prepare for potential negative reactions and develop strategies to overcome them. So encourage your new business partners to anticipate skepticism from family and friends and provide them with constructive ways to handle such situations. So again, you're having this conversation with your new business partner up front. Say, listen, in the beginning, your friends and family they're gonna be skeptical of this. And that's normal, right? But you have to become the evidence, right? You have to show them. This is why we have 3 ways, right? Third-party validation, because they need to hear from someone other than you who is documented and successful in the business. So this is why it's so important to let the new business partner knows, don't do too much of this. You talking too much to your family and friends. You think you know how to talk to your sister about this business, but the more you talk to your sister about the business, the more you're turning her away from the business. Your sister needs to hear from someone in the business who's documented, who's not you, right? It's almost like when you're, how you can tell your child something, right? and you've been telling them and they don't listen to you, and then they meet a perfect stranger and the stranger tells them the same thing you've been telling them, and they come home and they say, Mom, Dad, guess what I learned? And you're like, really? I've been telling you this all your life. But a stranger can come and tell you the exact same thing I've been telling you, and you take it? What? Wow. Right? It's the same thing with network marketing in your family and friends. They can't receive the information from you. You just have to get them in front of someone who is documented successful in the business, and then they will come on board. All right. Or get on board, or at least be respectful of your business. It might not be for them, and that's okay too. Number 4, anticipating rejection scenarios. Anticipating rejection scenarios. Prepare for various rejection scenarios, such as encountering positive negativity from friends or being dismissed with laughter, and develop strategies to handle these situations effectively. Role playing different rejection scenarios can help new business partners build confidence in managing difficult conversations, right? So give them some little nuggets that they can say to people, not getting into too much, right? Because they're already overwhelmed as a brand new business partner with all these things they need to learn and do. But you can give them some little nuggets so that they have some type of comeback instead of them crawling up and shrinking down when someone hits them with some negativity, right? Like the whole pyramid thing, right? Like, really? Our partners are Disney, Marriott, Hilton. Do you really think they would be partnered with, a pyramid? Like, come on, y'all. You got to do better than that, right? Or they might say, oh, I can't believe you're in one of those things, that's a scam or whatever. Really? I don't look good in stripes and orange. Do you really think I would get involved in something that's a scam? Like, really? Right? Or, excuse me, we get a 1099. I don't know any scams or illegal activities that are giving out 1099s and reporting to the IRS. Like, come on, I need you to do better than that. Right? Help them to come up with some type of comeback so that they don't become defensive. Right? Defensive is no good. Right? Hit them with the facts. Right? Not being defensive. All right. Number 5. Coping with rejection. Ooh, coping with rejection. Let me before I keep going, I want to go back to the chat. I'm sorry, y'all. I was missing some of the stuff in the chat here. We got True. Devil is a liar. Yeah, he is, right? Yes, that's love. I have already laid down the law, and that's it. I love it. I love it. Have that posture. When you know, right? Boss Lady said, wow, this speaks volume. There are so many with a broken mentality. And yep, absolutely. Absolutely. AV, yes. No use arguing with someone who wants to object to what you're doing. Those convinced against their will is of the same opinion still. That part. Yep, that is facts right there. That is fact. All right, so let's get back into it. Coping with rejection. Coping with rejection. Acknowledge and embrace rejection as part of the journey in network marketing, because it is. Recognize that rejection can serve as a motivating force to drive towards success. So encourage your new business partners to view rejection as a temporary setback and use it as fuel to prove the naysayers wrong. Oh, listen, I love when someone tells me I can't do something, because that's just going to drive me to make sure I do it. That's going to give me what I need to not quit, because now I got to prove you wrong. And I love proving people wrong, right? I always tell people I can show you better than I could tell you. So show them, right? The other thing is there's another book. Where is that book? I think I have it in the other room, called Go for No. Right? So you want to turn your perception of a no into something positive. Go for a certain amount of no's, per day or per week, because that means you're exposing more people. If you haven't had any rejection, you definitely ain't working your business. You've only had 2 people reject you. That's it. You're definitely not working your business. Come talk to me when you've had 100 or hundreds of people tell you no. Now I know you work in your business. But until you get hit with the no, not interested, you ain't work. You playing with this. It's a joke for you. It's a hobby. It's not a business, right? All right. Number 6, emotional impact of rejection. Emotional impact of rejection. Again, we're talking about today 10 takeaways from chapter 1 of your first year in network marketing, called Ignoring the Rejection Rocket. So number 6, emotional impact of rejection. Receiving rejection, particularly from friends and acquaintances, can have a deep emotional impact. It's important to address these emotions and learn to navigate them effectively. Emotional resilience is crucial. Please underline, highlight that word. Emotional resilience is crucial in network marketing, and new business partners should be equipped with strategies to manage the emotional toll of rejection. If you don't equip your new business partner with how to effectively deal with their emotions when they're rejected, they are going to quit. It is going to lead to attrition because you don't know what's going on. Let's say, for example, this is a perfect example. Your business partner, unbeknownst to you, is living in a domestic violence situation. So now their self-esteem is super, super low. Add to that, they're at a job that doesn't appreciate them. So now they're feeling worthless at their job and at home. They get the guts to start this business, and then they're getting rejected from the people they're talking to. They're going to quit. It's just a matter of time. So you have to be aware and prepare them for how to deal with those emotions, how to turn that emotion into a strength that drives them. Because network marketing can help build people's self-esteem as well. As they personally develop, they're going to blossom. It's like they come in as a little flower that, in a shell. But as you're around these champions, you put them in that championship environment and they work on their personal development and they're around boss babes and boss dudes, they're going to start to blossom, right? But you got to do your part to prepare them for the emotion that comes with, right? Because you might not know about the domestic violence situation. You might not know about how they're being treated on their job. You don't know any of that at first, right? But again, it's your job. We talked about this last week. It's your job to get to know them, to build rapport with them so that you know these things that are, going on in their household or at their job or whatever. But you have to help them with that emotional part that comes with it, how to manage that. If they know it's coming, then that relieves a little bit of stress when it does come, right? Let's get on to number 7. Turning rejection into motivation. Hey, let your haters be your motivators. Anybody know about that? Letting your haters become your motivators? I love it. You talk about you want to get your self-esteem up, rank promote. Hit your next promotion. I could not wait to get this 6-figure ring. I could not wait. It drove me. Every rejection, I was like, oh no, you ain't stopping me from getting that 6-figure ring. The rejection drove me. I had to get this 6-figure ring. Why? Because my team needed the story. My team needed this story of how their coach went from 2 houses going into foreclosure, car repossession, eviction notice, lights turned off, targeted at job, to six-figure income earner. My team needed it, but I also needed it so that I could go back to all those people who told me no. They were like, oh, congratulations, man, I didn't know you could make six figures. I told you about this opportunity 6 figures ago. 100,000. We had that conversation $100,000 ago. I couldn't wait. And guess why I'm going for the Ruby? Not because it indicates earnings of $250,000 a year annually in residual income, because it represents $250,000. And that sounds way better, right? So turn your rejection into motivation. Receiving rejection, like I said, it's you got to prepare your new business partner for that, right? They got to be resilient. They got to be able to bounce back from that. It hits you, boom, it bounces off of you like water. They got to learn how to become unemotional. All right, let's keep it going. Let's keep it going. Number 8, sustaining enthusiasm through rejection. Sustaining enthusiasm through rejection. Maintaining enthusiasm through rejection is crucial. There's that word again, highlight, underscore, right? For long-term success. New business partners should develop resilience and the ability to bounce back from setbacks. Emphasize the importance of maintaining a positive attitude and unwavering enthusiasm despite encountering rejection. This is something that they're going to have to learn over time. It's not going to happen right away. So you need to prepare them for that, right? Yep, they do. Once you hit them with the evidence of your success, you get documented. Oh, they're like, okay, well, I'm ready to hear now. That's good. I'm glad that's helping you. Yep, documentation beats the greatest rejection and harshest of critics. Absolutely. Top leaders experience rejection. That's true. Rejection will always happen, so we cannot take it personal. You are not being rejected, and that doesn't necessarily mean that a person won't be interested later. Exactly. A no means not now, right? A no means not now. All right. All right. Let's keep it moving. Where we at, y'all? Number 9? Okay. Number 9. Preparing prospects for rejection. Really preparing your new business partner for rejection. So you should proactively prepare your new business partner for potential rejection and equip them with the tools to overcome it, right? Role-playing rejection scenarios with new business partners can help them build confidence and resilience in handling challenging conversations. And we talked about that with an earlier one, right? Doing that role-playing with them. People can't duplicate what they have not experienced. People cannot duplicate what they have not experienced. So just telling them, oh, well, if somebody says such and such, you just respond with such and such, right? Oh, if someone says this, you just say that. Don't just do that. Say, let's role play it. Go ahead and prospect me, and then I'm going to reject you, and then you give me the rejection back. Like, do the role play with them, right? They can duplicate that. And you already know what the rejections are, because people always have the same, types of rejections. So you can actually role play all of those. Write down your top 5 rejections. Write down your top 5 rejections that you get in your business, right? And then take each of those scenarios with your new business partner and role play it with them. And then so now once they've experienced it with you, guess what? When they get hit with it, they ready. They already know. And they feel confident. They're like waiting for the rejection, because they're like, oh, I'm ready for it. I know what she's going to say. She's going to say something negative, but I got her. Yes, I can put number 8 back up. Number 8 was sustaining enthusiasm through rejection. Don't let that rejection beat you down where now you are full of negative energy. You got to keep your energy high. You got to keep those vibrations high. Why? Because your vibe attracts your tribe. And so if you're feeling defeated, right, because you've been getting a whole bunch of no's recently, you're going to attract defeated people, which is basically everybody. Right? You're going to attract those people, and then you're going to keep getting more no's because you're attracting other people with a defeated mindset with negative energy. So that's why number 8, staying, sustaining enthusiasm through rejection is so important. And the best way to do that for me, it was, as Director Burke was sharing, going on those vision quests, driving my future car, right? Those things kept me enthusiastic because why? I'm thinking about my future. I'm thinking about my future and where I'm going, right? I used to walk, before we built this house, I was up here every week when it was nothing but land. There wasn't even a road here. Every week. I'm not exaggerating. There was not one single week that went by for an entire year prior to me moving in that I was not up here walking this property, because it kept my energy high. Matter of fact, I remember one night, it was probably, I don't know, 9:00 at night, and I was feeling defeated. I was feeling just beat down from just life. And I told my husband, I'm like, I'm not feeling. He's like, what's wrong? I'm like, I'm just not feeling it, He's like, come on, let's go. And what we do? Drive up here in the middle of the night. You remember that, Director Burke? It was probably like 11:00 at night. Drove up here because he knew me seeing the land, the plot that we were going to build this home was going to energize me and get me back enthusiastic about what I had to do. It was like my armor. I had to be recharged, right? So what does that recharge look like for you? And so when you're talking to your new business partner, what does that recharge look like for them? Find that thing that is going to recharge them so that when they get hit with the rejection, you can remind them about that thing that's recharging them so that they can get excited all over again. Take them on a vision quest, right? Tell them, go drive your dream car. Go find out what your dream car is. They might not know a darn thing about cars. Say, I need you to start going to some dealerships to figure out what you want. Because how can you tell me what you want if you're not even in the cars? You don't know nothing about them. You ain't never even been to a car dealership because you always buy used cars. No, right? You got to have that. All right. And last, we got, okay, so we said number 9. Number 10, last one, seeking motivational support. Seeking motivational support. Seek support and guidance from mentors and leaders in the network marketing industry and your company to overcome rejection and sustain motivation. So encourage your new business partner to build a rapport within the company and in the industry to gain guidance and motivation during challenging times. All right. So super important this is why we always say you got to get your new business partners to plug in. They got to plug in. They got to get in the sauce. They got to get in the culture. How many of you have gone to an event at your company and you were fired up afterwards, right? You felt like you could take on the world, right? You gotta put yourself in that winning culture in order to get that. All right. So we got 2 minutes. I want to hear your number one takeaway, Amazing K. What is your number one takeaway from today's session?
Well, I guess it would have to be the spouse thing. Even though I'm not married, engaged, or dating, the people that I'm prospecting, some of them are, and I guess because it's not me, I'm kind of like, oh, I don't need to know about that. But I do need to know about that for them to help them do that. And I remember reading, in the book, the way Shamika was saying when he came home and told his wife, and she just really, I have to prepare them for that. And I like what you said. So my takeaway would be, don't try to get them to do this with you, because couples always want to do things together. I know when I was married twice. Well, I'm a widow now, but I always wanted to do things with my husband. But let them know if this is your dream. If you saw it first, then let them know I'm going to do this, and hopefully I have your permission. But I'm not asking you to do this, but I am asking you to come see what it is that I'm doing. and don't
Right.
try to explain it to them. And that's where we go wrong. That's where people go wrong. They try to explain it. How are you going to explain something you don't even know you just got in? Bringing them to a meeting, putting them on a Zoom, doing that. So that's good, because one of my people that just got in, one of the people that are joining me, she's not married, but she's engaged. So and I was laughing what you were saying. They're not married. They don't get a say, but so she's all in the, from lady. And that's how she got involved this about her honeymoon. She came to me for her honeymoon. And I said,
Nice.
girl, honeymoon, you can get paid for your honeymoon, and you can get I told about the honeymoon wishes, and you can
Right.
get your guests to pay for the honeymoon. So now
Right.
she's in there. So yeah, but yeah,
Absolutely.
let them see it for themselves. Let them see what you saw that got you excited. And if they get
Exactly.
excited, great. If they don't, that's great too, because you're going to still be excited, but now they know what to do. They know what you're doing.
Thank you so much. And I like Denise. She said, my takeaway was to stay motivated. No is not the end. Don't stop because of a few no's. The yes will come. Exactly. I love that. I love that. Let's see. Boss Lady said, network marketing reveals a crack in your relationship, or cracks. It just depends, right? Shamika, what's your takeaway?
Rochelle actually just said my takeaway that network marketing will reveal the cracks in your relationship, and not just intimate relationships, right? Boyfriend and girlfriend. It's we talking about your mama, your
Yeah,
dad, your sister, your brother, your cousin, your best friend who you've been knowing. It's gonna reveal those cracks, and it's not like it had never existed. I like to say it amplifies it.
it does.
And put it on blast. That's so that you got to face those problems. And so to tell your new business partner that that's going to be a part of it, and to anticipate and prepare for it, I think is very, very powerful. So
Awesome. 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 Thank you. All right. So that concludes virtual coffee break for today. And guess what? Next week, Tuesday, we're going to dive into chapter 2 from the book, Your First Year in Network Marketing. So if you have not gotten the book, please get it so you can be prepared, so you can be engaging and participate with us in this conversation. And everyone have an amazing day on purpose with purpose. Bye, everyone.